Hi, this is Miguel Delaney. I'm a colleague of Jamie Braidwood. It's the morning after the night before, a beautiful day now in Sydney, if quite a disappointing night for England after a narrow, but I think you'd say convincing defeat to Spain. What are your overriding feelings now, Jamie?
Yeah, Spain, the deserved winners. Serena Deepman said that herself. In the end, it just felt a bit of a step too far for this England team. Given the challenges and difficulties that they've faced throughout the tournament, they've coped with them admirably well to reach this point. But given a Spain team that keep the ball that well, that were able to play through England's plan and England's press, England just didn't quite have the answers in the end.
I think the one overriding issue with Spain is essentially that those players, that squad, have been through a kind of a 2-decade long coaching revolution. It means that they're the most talented pool of players in the world, playing in a system they know well, and it almost supersedes everything else.
England were stuck between two approaches, whether to push them high, which they tried in the first half, in what was an open game, maybe a bit too open for England, and then in the second half, when they go down, really they just ran out of ideas, and when they switched to 4-2-3-1, and it sort of felt like in the final half hour that Spain weren't really threatened in the way that England maybe had done previously in the tournament, when they had gone a goal down, when they had come back against Australia. And yeah, it's a deflating way to end for England because it had been such a positive, brilliant tournament in so many ways, but just the final just proved too much.
They kind of stretched themselves to the absolute limit, not quite overperformed because they could be champions of the world, but ultimately just came up with a team that were in better circumstances.
England still got plenty to be proud about, but Spain capping off this golden generation of players, fitting World Cup winners in many ways.
I think it's been a brilliant tournament generally. As one thing, to be fair, Gianni Infantino got right among many eyebrow-raising statements, was that it's a transformative tournament. What are your overriding impressions?
Yeah, just a brilliant tournament. I think what will stay with me is the wins from Colombia in beating Germany, Jamaica in knocking out Brazil and reaching the last 16, and South Africa as well. Just incredible moments for countries who were completely written off before the World Cup and sort of changed the way that we look at these teams and these nations. And now it's all about, I guess, the main takeaway from this World Cup is how these teams are supported by the federations, and that is the big question that sort of looms over Spain. Even a team that can win the World Cup just shows how far some countries still have to go.
And that's it, I suppose. I mean, I think it was kind of, in some ways, fitting the nature of the winners, England and Spain, because they're Western European, or wealthy Western European nations who have invested in women's football. But I mean, it's still symbolic that they've had issues, many of them related to finance. England with the bonus dispute, Spain with preparation issues, and that shows how far some of the kind of framework around women's football has to go, but the tournament shows how much potential is there. And that's been the 2023 Women's World Cup from The Independent.